tell you all I have to say, I have to be able to forget about it. There's a team in town tonight that's won 3-4 in SMU, and has a good player, Mackenzie Adams.
Yeah, ranked right now 7th in scoring, about 17 half points a game. As she goes, so SMU goes, she's a tremendous guard. She can shoot the three, she can drive. As she goes, again, SMU goes. So Bulls are going to have to shut down at that right side defense. They have a Kelsey Mitchell, or we're going to have her once again cut out for her.
And they'll probably have to try and get some transition points today because SMU is
University of South Florida at the Sundome Arena. It's American Digital Network presents American Conference Women's Basketball. Tonight, the SMU Mustangs take on the number 22 ranked USF Bulls. And good evening, everyone. I'm Eric Lopez alongside Despina Barton. And Despina, we got a great matchup. Two teams peaking at the right time. And if history tells us, we could be in for a real barn burner. SMU
coming in with two big victories, and USF beating Ohio State just a few nights ago. But yes, whenever these two teams get together, they are close games. Last year in the conference tournament, it was a 7-point game and victory for the Bulls. And the game before that, during the regular season, came down to one single point.
For the Mustangs, they've won 3 of the last 4, and one of the big reasons is Mackenzie Adams.
Yeah, she's the junior guard that is averaging 17.2 points per game, the 8th in the conference. And really, Eric, she's the catalyst here, not only the leading scorer, but because she works so hard, the team just gravitates and feeds off her performance.
For the Mustangs, one of the keys you feel like is defense and getting USF's face.
Yeah, you're going to have to first off contain Loxa here. She had the 41 points against Ohio State. You're going to have to contain her and play lockdown defense. And when I say disrupt the shot, you need to have active hands in the lane, in the face. No uncontested shots can happen for SMU. And then on the back end, they need to box out, own the boards, and control that as well if they want a chance.
For the Bulls, they're led by the reigning National Player of the Week, Kedia Loxa.
Yeah, we saw what she did just a few nights ago. It was incredible. Shooting from 3, 8 for 13, 50% from the field, and perfect from the free throw line. She was doing everything so perfect against Ohio State. A career night for her. The question is here, can she carry that over?
One of the keys for the Bulls is push the tempo, right? Run and gun.
Yeah, certainly you want to control the tempo. USF likes to get out in transitions. That's how they like to score the points. And they like to run you out of the gym. They have the endurance to do so. Not the other teams that try to keep up with them. At least that's been the tale so far this year. And they must avoid the trap game. You come off such a high of defeating Ohio State. You have to pull it together. These are conference games, and there's only so many left.
Should be a good one tonight. We'll have the opening tip and the starting lineups when we return between the Mustangs and the Bulls here on the American Digital Network.
There are other people just like you, driven, determined, those who use passion to spark creation, others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
I was the last person anybody's thinking is going to be in college athletics. One thing I really valued about my SMU experience was being in engineering school. I was taught how to think. In 2012, my wife and I decided to start our foundation. Basically, the goal is to let kids be kids while they're in the hospital, but also be able to return to being a kid when they're done. A huge part of my quality of life is the experiences that I've had, and that was all provided by SMU. I'm Thomas Morstead. Game changers are shaped here.
Welcome back here to the American Digital Network. Coverage of American Conference Women's Basketball for the Mustangs and the Bulls. And you see the lineups there for the Mustangs are coming in at 10 and 15 and 14 in the conference. And the Bulls 20 and 5 overall and 9 and 2 in the conference, Despina. And certainly for the Mustangs, Coach Travis Mays really showing this team how to win games.
Yeah, he's been tremendous. He came in last year, and they had such a deep run into the WNIT, and now just trying to get back there, dealing with some injuries. He's doing the best he can with those on the court right now.
And, of course, the Bulls head coach Jose Fernandez in his 18th season.
Man, what can you say about him? He's so calm, cool, collected, and the girls just feed off his energy. I talked to him today. What's going on, Coach? Nothing, just a normal day. You know, the girls feeling right, especially after that win against Ohio State a few days ago.
We're set for opening tip here at the Sundome Arena. Bulls in their pink jerseys tonight, honoring the Play for K, the awareness for K Yao Cancer Fund. SMU and their visiting blue. We're underway with the Bulls having the ball here as we get set to go.
Yeah, these jerseys only come out once a year, Eric. They honored some cancer survivors in the huddle in the pregame. And what a beautiful take there.
Maria Jespersen gets the scoring off to a good start as the Bulls lead 2-0. Now the Mustangs trying to go inside. Traveling there.
Yeah, Whitfield got down on the block and then didn't know what to do. The ball, she went for an outlet, instead stepped with it. An honest mistake.
Now the Bulls will bring the ball up. Lila Flores, #1 in the American Conference in assists per game, averaging 6.2. Really sets the tone on this offense, distributing the ball. Ferreira with the ball. And on a pick there, Ferreira drives to the basket, dishes to Jespersen, who drives, and it's blocked by Bradshaw. Bradshaw tied for first in the American Conference in blocks per game, 1.9. There's 4 on the shot clock as Flores drives. No good, loose ball. Ferreira's there for the Bulls, and a jump ball is the call as Cash was underneath there for the Mustangs. And the possession arrow will go over to SMU.
The battle earned there for SMU. They turned over the ball their last possession. This one getting this one back on the floor. Nice possession by SMU.
Now SMU to bring the ball up. Ariana Whitfield. Over to Adams, the leading scorer, 8th in the conference in score. We have 3 of the top 8 scorers in the conference on the court right now in this game. With Adams 8th in the conference in score, and of course, Laxa and Jespersen as well in the top 8. 5 on the shot clock. They go inside. Cash tries to go off glass, too strong, and loose ball foul against SMU. But I think if you're Coach Mays, he talked to us about this, Despina, milking the clock and shortening this game. He doesn't want to get into a up and down court game with USF. He wants to make this a half-court game.
No, and he wants to force the Bulls to play defense in the half-court setting, search for that nice shot, and when you have to, put it up. But he wants them to work. This cuts down on the time that his team will have to play on defense as they're trying to push the ball through.
So Flores brings the ball up, being guarded by Whitfield. As they pass the ball up, of course, a lot of ball movement when it comes to the Bulls. Ferreira with a nice dish, and the finish not there by Rader. Now the three-pointer is no good. First one missed there by Luxa, but the Bulls get another offensive rebound. These are 2 of the top rebounding teams in the conference.
And here you see them getting their 3rd shot at this possession and points on the board. Luxa missing again.
So Luxa off to an 0-for-2 start after that 41-point performance in the victory over Ohio State on Sunday. Now the Mustangs with the ball, a drive, and drawing the foul there is Mackenzie Adams. Really aggressive there, going to the basket and draw some contact.
Yeah, they definitely want to keep this USF team on their heels, make them work for every possession. And one thing that we talked about earlier, Travis Mays wants his girls to penetrate, get them in trouble and foul trouble. He knows his girls are pretty solid from the free throw line. Let's take those easy points and let's put them through.
First free throw is good by Adams, who's an 80% shooter this season.
And one thing is it's going to be interesting to watch is Mackenzie Adams will be guarding Kitty Olatska on the defensive side of the ball. Those two, the 2 leading scorers. So that should be a great matchup here tonight. Adams
hits both free throws as Kitty Olatska goes to the bench quickly here as Elba Prieto comes in to replace her here for the moment. Now Jespersen. Over to Flores, they swing the ball around. Typical Jose Fernandez-led team, they like to have ball movement, constant flow. They don't want to really get into an ISO game as Flores, mid-range, no good. But another offensive rebound by the Bulls as Rader was there. Ball out of bounds, but one of the interesting keys in this game is going to be rebounding. These are 2 of the top rebounding teams in the conference. And early on here, USF getting some offensive rebounds against this SMU defense.
Yeah, and Rader down there doing some work. She was kind of upset with herself after missing that wide open bunny. Here she's going to take a little break, but that energy has to stay there. That box out, that body needs to stay in the lane. That's what this is going to come down to.
A quick whistle on the inbounds play. And it's a foul on Cash. And a quick foul on Cash there. And that'll be 2 fouls on Janisha Cash, who's coming off a tremendous game a couple of games ago against Tulsa. Had a double-double, 18 points, 13 rebounds. And she's got 2 quick fouls. That's big. She's one of their top rebounders.
A lot of early substitutions for both sides here, Eric.
Yeah, very interesting. Now, you don't normally see that. You got 2 minutes in here, but try to use some depth here early. As the inbounds, Ferreira with the pump fake, drives, gets met by the SMU defense. And now the Bulls will reset with Flores. Ferreira.
Offense always moving in more motion. They always have the play going.
Hinshaw to Flores. Now Prieto from the wing, and it's good. Nice shot made there by Laura Ferreira to give the Bulls there a 4-2 lead.
And that was patience, what we saw out there. Things weren't working. They kept tossing the ball around the key, finding the open shot, and they found Ferreira there on the baseline, which was the best shot they could get. A win-win there for USF.
Bradshaw with the hook is no good. Here comes Jesperson. She's going to push the ball up. Jesperson kicks it out. As the Mustangs defense gets back on the fast break. Now Jesperson open at the corner for 3. It's good.
And that's how you draw it up. Jesperson comes down with a big rebound on the other end, starts feeding in transition, then pops out right on the block on the baseline there for the 3. Perfect textbook.
Jesperson averaging 17 points a game, is 7th in the American Conference. She's got 5 early here as the Bulls are up 5. And the miss by Whitfield there, no good, and a rebound to the Bulls. Here come the Bulls, bringing it up. Flores looks to Jesperson here at the top. Jesperson drives to her left, kicks it out. Here's a 3-pointer, left corner, no good. Loose ball, rebound SMU. Now here come the Mustangs. Pull up. Shot is rimmed out, no good by Perry. And a rebound by the Bulls.
Probably something there Coach would have liked them to set up, wait for the rest of the Mustangs to get down the floor.
Prieto missed the 3, but again, another offensive rebound by the Bulls. They have dominated the offensive boards here early in the first 5 minutes of this opening quarter. Again, these are 2 of the top rebounding teams, and right now the Bulls having the advantage. They swing it out. They love to shoot the 3. They're not shy. They're 2nd in the American in shooting 3s, behind only UConn. And the ball is out of bounds, will remain with the Bulls.
Adams there trying to trace the ball down, ultimately coming off her, so it's going to stay on this basket for USF as Loxa checks back in.
So she checks back in after the quick breather. Jesperson will go to the bench after the quick 5 points.
Eric, what I thought was interesting is this USF team, before they stepped off from their warm-ups, they made sure Loxa shot a 3, and it was a made 3. It took her 4 shots to make the 3 at the top of the key. If that's any indication, they're going to want to try and get her shot going here and build that confidence up.
Well, she just drew a foul on Mackenzie Adams there, and she's going to get a chance to go to the line. She kind of settled there for the mid-range shot. She'll get to go to the free throw line. The #1 free throw shooter in the NCAA.
She hasn't missed a free throw in the month of February. Good, we didn't jinx her.
That's you. That's all you there. 97% from the line. #1 in the NCAA currently. For the reigning National Player of the Week. As Lexa drills both there to give the Bulls the 9-2 lead.
And for all the free throws that this USF team makes this month, they're raising money for the Play for K, and they have donors that are contributing to the fund based on how many free throws this team makes. So far, 56 on the month.
There's a legal there, defense, or offense, I should say, 3 seconds. Mustangs trying to pound the ball inside, but not finding success here in the early going as we hit the media timeout with 4:58 to go in the first quarter. USF leading SMU 9-2 here on the American Digital Network's coverage of American Conference Women's Basketball.
There are other people just like you, driven, determined, those who use passion to spark creation, others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
And welcome back here to the Sundome Arena at the University of South Florida campus. As American Digital Network coverage of American Conference women's basketball, it's the Mustangs and the Bulls, and so far, Justina Barton, USF and SMU, the top two rebounding teams in the American Conference. We wondered how they would match up in the boards, and so far in the early going, it's been all USF.
Oh, absolutely. The Bulls right now out-rebounding the Mustangs 11-3. There are more rebounds being pulled down than points on the board right now for USF. They're doing everything right.
USF comes into the game number one in the conference, 44.4 rebounds. They're number one in rebounding margin, 11.3. SMU is number two at 42.8 rebounding. Their margin is 4.7 on the positive end. That's third in the conference. UConn, of course, number two. So these are two teams that live off getting rebounding. And if you're Coach Mays and SMU, that rebounding total has to change if they have a chance to pull this upset. As we return to action now, the Bulls with a 9-2 lead, 4:50 to go in the first quarter. Now Loxa for three. In and out. She hit the field goal in this game. She's had 2 free throws. Right now she's 0 for 3 from the field. So a different start for her than it was in Ohio State when she was hitting everything in the first quarter. As that ball goes out of bounds, it'll go over to SMU. Of course, USF with that win over number 13 ranked Ohio State on Sunday, 84-65. It was the first win for this Bulls program against the top 15 team since February of 2013 when they knocked off Louisville. So that was a big win. It was a big environment here, a huge win. But I know you mentioned this in the pregame. That was a huge emotional game. They've got a huge emotional game coming up on Sunday against their rivals in UCF in Orlando. But here you go. You got this middle game in between. How would they come out? I know that was something that Jose Fernandez was looking forward to seeing how his team would respond as SMU misses the shot to get a putback. And it's too strong. And a loose ball goes over to the Bulls.
Yeah, if you're Coach Fernandez, you're happy with the way the team is pushing the ball. Their shot selection is not bad. They're blocking out. They're pulling down the rebounds. It's just that shot's not dropping. And these are the instances you want to see your team continue to stay focused, continue to stay engaged, find another way to score. So he's going to find out how they do that.
Loxa shot a little too strong. So certainly not having the range here in the early going, although she can go at any moment. Now the Mustangs, where's the offense will come from? Of course, they've been dependent on Adams, but might need some help. Here's Adams for three, too strong. Rebound Jespersen, who's back in. Jespersen pushing the ball up, kicks it out. Now they go cross court. Loxa for three, no good.
And you see right here, USF is trying to get her activated. They're going to get her the ball as much as they can. That's their star. Adams
drives, and it's blocked by Loxa. Here come the Bulls. Prieto. They love to push it. It's a contrast right now. Of course, SMU being shorthanded. Prefer to play in the half court.
SMU losing their star player before the season even started.
Here's a kick out. It's Flores. And the shot from the no good. Off the corner. Loose ball. And it's picked up by the Mustangs. Of course, you speak of Alicia Froling, who was a second-team American Conference a year ago, averaged a double-double. They lost her right before the season.
Yeah, Froling had a knee injury before the season even started. She had surgery, and it's one of those things where it's her body having to heal on time. No rush to get back right now. Though she was the leading scorer, the leading rebounder for this team, she will stay with SMU next year for her senior season, as she has aspirations to play professionally. And boy, if she puts up another season like she did her junior year, we will be seeing a lot more of Froling.
Deja Thomas put the basket in for the Mustangs to put it within 9-4. Now they get the ball back here again. With 2:15 to go here in the first quarter. That was tough to overcome. You know, certainly had to adjust as the shot is too strong by Perry and the rebound to the Bulls. Now Loxa is a junior, brings it up. Pulls up, shoots, too short, and she knew it right away, but the offensive rebound again by the Bulls. Jesperson for three, rimmed out, in and out. I think Coach Fernandez is pleased with the looks he's getting, but it's just not falling right now for South Florida.
And the fact that they're getting second, third chance opportunities is helping a lot, too, with keeping Coach Fernandez there on his bench and pretty content. But if you keep getting out rebound like this, Perry pulls it down between two pink jerseys. He's going to get up just like he did right now.
Whitfield now is the Mustangs trying to set up their offense. They're also a 1 for 11 start from the field. USF 3 for 20. They go inside, and the ball is knocked away from Collins. Collins gets it back, drives hard, and draws the foul.
And Collins was just placed there perfectly. She stayed with the ball. Her eyes never left the ball. Loose ball on top of it. Went up with it strong and made something out of nothing.
And so Collins will get a chance to go to the line. The 6'5" senior out of Melbourne, Australia.
Both of these teams have such an international flavor out on the court. It's fun to watch.
Well, that's kind of the success. I know Coach Fernandez has built that at USF, but you're right. There's so much talent. Of course, basketball is such a global game. Everybody's playing it all over the world, and programs like SMU and USF have taken advantage of that and been able to find young players, international, overseas, to come to school, get an education, and get to play the highest level of college basketball.
Certainly, I would like to pitch for a job in recruiting those players. Maybe I could get some extra sky miles, see the world.
So you're okay traveling up to Melbourne, Australia is what you're saying?
Absolutely. And Spain.
Latvia, among others, are represented here tonight as Collins makes the first.
Portugal, Denmark.
Hinshaw and Prieto will go to the bench for USF. Adams will go to the bench for SMU. As Collins, a senior, has had more playing time. This is made with result of some injuries. And the second one in and out, but an offensive rebound by SMU. Good hustle there by Michaela Reese, who checked in. And now the Mustangs will set up here, only trailing 9-5 with a minute to go in the first quarter. Reese drills it from the free throw line.
A 5-0 run here for SMU.
To cut it to 2, 9-7, and I think that's what Coach Mays, I think he's pleased with really the flow of this game.
And that's USF taking some sets off down there on the defensive end.
Now the kick out. The drive by Flores, and that won't go, and the rebound by Collins. And the Mustangs will have the ball here, about a 6-second difference between the play clock and the shot clock. Collins at the top of the key. Whitfield. Off the pick, Reese drives in, gets met by Bulls defenders. And now Whitfield has to shoot it. And that comes up short, goes out of bounds. And it'll be USF ball with 10 seconds to go here in the quarter.
SMU ran that one all the way down to the play clock and kind of got stuck with USF. They played their half-court defense and made you take a not-so-great shot.
So Flores brings it up. Loxa drives, underhand, no good. Rader is there, and a jump ball. And a jump ball, and the arrow will go to SMU with 1.3 seconds to go here in the quarter.
A quiet few minutes here for USF.
Perry from half court, too strong, and with that comes the end of the first quarter. USF got off to a quick start, but a 5-0 run by the Mustangs here to end the quarter, and it's 9-7 USF after one quarter. You're watching American Conference Women's Basketball here on the American Digital Network.
There are other people just like you. Driven, determined. Those who use passion to spark creation. Others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it down. Terrific finish. Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
I was the last person anybody's thinking is going to be in college athletics. One thing I really valued about my SMU experience was being in engineering school. I was taught how to think. In 2012, my wife and I decided to start our foundation. Basically, the goal is to let kids be kids while they're in the hospital, but also be able to return to being a kid when they're done. A huge part of my quality of life is the experiences that I've had, and that was all provided by SMU. I'm Thomas Morstead. Game changers are shaped here.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Coverage here from the Sundome Arena. Coverage of the American Digital Network's coverage of the American Conference women's basketball. It's the USF Bulls. As you see, Jose Fernandez, the Bulls head coach, has got to be frustrated. Despina, Eric Lopez here alongside Despina Barton. Got to be frustrated with that Bulls offense. They really struggled. 3 for 22 in that first quarter for USF.
They led by 7 at the 5-11 mark and then hadn't scored since. A lull they're going to have to dig themselves out of here.
They get the ball to start the second quarter. Of course, SMU defensively only allows 36% from the field. That's 19th in the NCAA. That's number 1 in the conference and 19th in the NCAA. So they usually bring out the worst in other teams shooting. Now Jespersen drives in and draws a foul. And Coach May's not agreeing with that call, but Jespersen will get herself on the line here with 9:39 to go in the second quarter. A 9-7 lead for USF. What's been your thoughts here the first 10 minutes? I think both sides have to be pleased to some extent. USF has got to be happy with the shots they've been getting, but I think SMU's happy that this is the kind of flow of the game they like.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes, I think both teams are kind of feeling themselves out. USF jumping out into that 7-point lead, and then they kind of relaxed, they chilled, they put the remote on and put their feet up on the couch. Whereas SMU got their bearings. They didn't look at USF as being as big as they are. It's an attainable job. This is a team that they can compete with and run up and down, and I think that's what we're seeing now.
Jespersen splits the 2 free throws. It's 10-7 USF here early in the second quarter. Reese to Whitfield on the left corner. Goes cross court. There's Deja Thomas, and then a shot from the corner, no good. Loose ball though, rebound to the Mustangs. Ball deflected, but Perry regains possession for SMU.
And this is a team that had to battle hard. They lost their star player there in Alicia Frawling. No real leadership on the team. She was the heart and soul. So for this group, they're starting to find their identity. We saw the 2 wins they're coming in off of, but still, this is a relatively new team that's on the court, new to each other, playing at the level that they're playing as many minutes as they are.
Well, they're learning how to play without Alicia. That's been the adjustment. It's been a tough adjustment. You don't lose a star player like her, and it definitely had an impact, and they've had to adjust.
And I think what Coach Mays was mentioning is that he knows these girls have the talent, and they have the skills. It's when are they going to turn it on?
Jespersen now misses her second free throw. She drew the foul driving in. As Mackenzie Adams, the leading scorer for SMU, checks back in, replacing Ariana Whitfield. But Jespersen now with one more. Hits it, so she's 2 for 4 at the line here. And it's an 11-7 lead for the Bulls. Now Reese to bring it up for the Mustangs. There's Adams. Trying to set the offense. Adams so far with 2 points in this game. 8th in the conference in scoring. Now Perry with 5 on the shot clock. See what the Mustangs do here. The pull-up is no good, but there's Reese again, and she's brought some energy here since entering the game here. She's gotten some loose balls here for the Mustangs.
Reese knows how to use her body properly. She positioned herself underneath the basket to have the advantage for the loose ball, tracked it down, reset this offense, and here we are, round number 2 for SMU.
Adams to Thomas. They feed the post inside, and it's good. Nice feed of the post there, and the score by Bradshaw.
What a beautiful play. You see Thomas feed down low, and this SMU team, you can get a couple of those going, and a steal, put this together, we're rolling.
Perry drives all the way off glass, no good. Rebound to Jespersen. But that was an example of SMU getting their ball on, getting hands on the ball, as the pull-up, no good. Raider, though, with the offensive rebound. They swing it out. Luxa for 3. No, still have not been able to find the range tonight for the reigning National Player of the Week.
Listen, she needed a cool-down period. You put up 41 on Sunday night against a top-ranked team. She could have a break, a little breather.
I think Coach Fernandez would disagree right now, as the Bulls offense, among the tops in the conference, held to 11 points to this point. Again, they go in the post, and Thomas was looking to draw a foul, doesn't get one. And here come the Bulls, looking to push it up. Ferreira knocked away and a steal. Perry again. Now Perry to bring it up. He got numbers. Perry takes it all the way on Jespersen. No good. Offensive rebound, Thomas. Ball goes out of bounds and remains with SMU. But Despina, you mentioned in the pregame, defensively, get ball on hand, deflect passes, disrupt this USF offensive flow, and that's exactly what Coach Mays has gotten so far from her girls. And Perry is putting herself in the right spot to do so in the lane. She's actively tracking the ball as it's passed up the court, and literally was handed into her. It's just like a handoff on the football field. And she took it and ran, and though maybe she wished for a whistle down here on this end, they're still playing and they still have the possession. So it takes it away from USF, which is exactly what you want to do. Adams to Whitfield. Whitfield from the corner, no good. And the rebound to Flores. And the pressure doesn't stop here, Eric. Luxa dishes it out. Three-pointer, right side, no good. Loose ball, and it'll go over to SMU. And the Bulls now 1 for 9 on the three-point line, as they continue to have issues finding their range. And one thing that's so interesting, and Coach Jose Fernandez said it perfectly, when you have that number in front of your name, your school name, everybody's going to give you your best shot. These two teams on paper may not look like contenders, but we told you in the open, the last time they two met, these games came down to the last minute. Everybody wants a piece of USF right now because nobody can get a piece of UConn here in the American. Well, it's certainly, you're getting used to it. It's a nice drive there by Jespersen. Has 9 to give the Bulls a 13-9 lead. But you're right, they're being ranked. I mean, they got a target as well. Certainly UConn gets a target every night they play. And USF, who has been really the second best team in this conference and been maybe the big threat to UConn, they've got a target. As a result, as you mentioned, they're nationally ranked. Been an NCAA tournament team the last 3 seasons, as the shot is too strong there. And a team like SMU, certainly ready to go. And you mentioned last year, they played twice last season, including in the American Conference Tournament and the championships. And both games were close games. A combined 8 points was the difference between those 2 games, both won by the Bulls. In fact, SMU has never beaten USF. It's 9-0, the Bulls, in this all-time series. Loxa drills a 3, her first 3 of the game for Kadia Loxa. And the Bulls stretch it out to 6. Of course, they met last year, a 1-point difference. Even though SMU has never beaten USF, they've had some close calls. And now we'll see with the Mustangs as the Bulls with a 6-point lead. Reese drives to the left, goes off glass, and a blocking foul is the call, and then SMU will get a chance to go to the free throw line.
And see, I think there Reese was playing a little scared. She threw the ball up a little bit further away from the basket, but still drew that contact and gets a whistle. So Reese playing the ball right.
So we get into the media timeout with under 5 to go here in the second quarter. As you see, the reigning National Player of the Week with their first 3 of the game, giving the Bulls a 6-point lead here in the second quarter here on the American Digital Network.
There are other people just like you, driven, determined, those who use passion to spark creation, others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it. Terrific finish. Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
I was the last person anybody's thinking is going to be in college athletics. One thing I really valued about my SMU experience was being in engineering school. I was taught how to think. In 2012, my wife and I decided to start our foundation. Basically, the goal is to let kids be kids while they're in the hospital, but also be able to return to being a kid when they're done. A huge part of my quality of life is the experiences that I've had, and that was all provided by SMU. I'm Thomas Morstead. Game changers are shaped here.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Welcome back here to the American Digital Network's coverage of American Conference Women's Basketball. There it is. You're seeing the National Player of the Week, Kadia Laksa from USF. As the first free throw is made good by Reese. And so far tonight, this being off to a slow start for Laksa, but she hit a 3 here right before that media timeout. That could get her going here.
The first 15 minutes, very quiet, a couple of free throws, but that 3 may have just opened Pandora's box.
Both free throws are made. It's a 15-11 game in favor of the Bulls with 4:49 to go here in the second quarter. As the Bulls will bring it up, Flores, #1 in the conference in assists, to Laksa. Back to Flores. Let's see the ball movement here. Flores driving, swinging it out. 5 on the shot clock. Jespersen has a shot blocked by Collins. And here come the Mustangs. Reese doesn't have the numbers, and then she'll pull it back. I think that's exactly what Coach Mays would like. If it's not there, don't force it.
And that's a senior move. She's been on this team all 4 years. She knew what to do. Protect the ball, pull it back out, let's reset.
She swings it across to Whitfield. 10 on the shot clock. Whitfield goes behind the back. Now feeds the post to Collins. Collins covered by Jespersen. Collins goes off glass, and it's good.
What a power move there for Stephanie Collins. Back on the other end, she had the block. She started this play, and that one ending a 4-minute drought for SMU.
And just like that, it's a 2-point game here with 3:47 to go. Jespersen trying to drive on Collins, swings it out, 3-pointer, corner is good. Nothing but net. Vanessa Blackman, the freshman, drills a 3, and the Bulls extend the lead to 5, 18-13 with 3:33 to go here in the second quarter. Bulls rank, depending on which polls you look, 21st or 22nd in the country. Coming off that win over number 13 Ohio State. SMU coming off a win against Memphis as there's a turnover as Laksa showing her defensive premise with the steal. Looking to go coast to coast. Now kicks it out. 3-pointer. Blackman just hit one a moment ago. Can't hit that one. And the rebound over to the Mustangs and Mackenzie Adams. Now Reese. They go inside again to Collins. Met up by the trap, and there's a turnover. Jespersen Goes deep to Blackman. Blackman all the way for the layup. Is good. And now the Bulls defense getting some hands on some deflections on some of those SMU passes. And that one it converted to an easy 2.
Yeah, the young freshman, Vanessa Blackman, running the lane so perfectly. She just take a second look back just to make sure she hit the ball in the right spot and it went down. But rejuvenated, I would say, for this USF team that hasn't been able to find its shot. And then an answer here for SMU.
Ariana Whitfield with a 3. Big one there to cut it to 4. That's the key of the Mustangs. The Bulls can go on runs at any moment. You got to respond when they go on those couple of quick baskets. Now the swing. Blackman over to Flores. They swing out. Jespersen with 5 on the shot clock. Goes in the paint, draws the foul, and we'll go back to the line. As Collins was there and Bradshaw was there.
A second look here at that big 3 for Loxa, the first one that came about the 5-minute mark here in this quarter.
That's her only field goal of the game. She's 1 for 9 in this first half. But Jespersen has picked up the slack, 9 points. Not a bad option to have as she hits the first. Of course, Jespersen averaging 17 points a game, 7 in the conference. Of course, Jespersen and Loxa is the #1 conference duo as far as 2 players combined points in the American Conference, averaging combined 37 points in the conference. As Jespersen's second is up and good. And that's the advantage, the luxury that Coach Fernandez has. Is one of her star players doesn't have it going, he's got another one that he can dial up in Jespersen.
It's nice to have options, and I believe 4 of the 5 starters are averaging double digits and scoring. So this team offensively hasn't been able to get things going, but they're still out in front, and Jespersen has answered the call here to keep them moving in the right direction.
Thomas to Perry. Perry shoots, no good. And Jespersen with another rebound. She averages 9.5 a game on the season, does Jespersen. Now Loxa kicks it out to Jespersen. Jespersen for 3. Too short. And the ball goes over to Perry and SMU. So Jespersen, who's second in the conference in rebounding, has 6 boards to go along those 11 points here in the first half. On pace for another double-double. 1:05 to go as Perry to Bradshaw. Mustangs milking the clock here with 3 on the shot clock. Got to do something with it. Perry off glass, gets it to go. And cuts the deficit to 4, 22-18.
What a necessary basket here before the half. Perry keeping this game within 2 buckets.
An air ball by Loxa, and the ball goes out of bounds now to SMU with 44 seconds to go in the half. And a 4-point deficit.
A chance to cut this down to a 1-bucket game.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if SMU tries to go a quick 2 for 1 here with a 14-second difference between the play clock and the shot clock, or do they just kind of milk it here for 1 possession? Right now, it is bringing the ball up is Whitfield. Trying to set the offense up.
You want to be smart here with the ball.
And a foul inside as they feed the ball inside to Thomas.
And they've got a couple good looks with that inside pass. It wasn't there that time, but a lucky whistle, and SMU keeps the ball.
Well, that's a part of the game plan Coach was telling us about, going inside, pounding the ball inside. They'll get a chance to inbound the basketball here. Now they got a chance to hold for the last shot if that's what they choose to do. As Perry, top of the key. Adams looking to feed inside to Thomas. Thomas facing by a double team. Too strong, no good. And now the Bulls will have a chance for the last shot if they choose to. 10 on the clock. Flores gets a pick from Jespersen. Gives it to Jespersen. Jespersen drives to the right, kicks it out. 3-pointer by Ferreira is too strong. Loose ball rebound, and that'll do it for the first half here from Tampa. A defensive struggle. The Bulls struggling from the field. Shooting 20% from the field, but have a 4-point lead. 22-18 as Despina Barton has made her way down to the court. Hope to be joined by USF's head coach Jose Fernandez here before they get into the locker room. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say as they've missed some shots. And for the Bulls, as Coach Fernandez here going to be joining them here in a moment. But certainly defensive struggle, defensive battle, SMU kind of playing the tempo. And USF had the quick start, led 9-2 in the first half, but was unable to maintain that. SMU made some nice rallies and certainly have a chance to keep it within close shouting distance. 4-point game as USF and SMU, kind of a back and forth is what we thought. Jesperson with 11 to lead the Bulls, whereas Reese has 4 to lead SMU. They've got distributed score. No, Coach Fernandez now looks like will be coming, or is it actually going to be Coach Osterman will be coming out now? Coach Osterman, the associate coach for USF, is coming out, making his way now towards Despina. So Despina will have a chance to talk to Coach Osterman. And we'll be joined here in a couple of seconds. And let's toss it over now to Despina with Coach Osterman.
Joined by assistant coach Jeff Osterman. Coach, tell me what you guys saw, especially after the first 5 minutes where SMU started to settle in. What was happening with your team out there?
I think they did a good job of slowing us down with the dribble, and I thought we took a couple extra 2 dribbles. We've got to share the ball a lot better.
Yeah. Tell me this, what kind of adjustments can we expect to see from this team going in the second half? Every time y'all play SMU, there are close ones, a nail biter to the end.
They are. I think they do a very good job of clogging the paint and slowing us down. We're going to have to really screen and sprint off screens. I don't think their post players show enough, so I think we can turn the corner and get some better looks.
And lastly, how important is it to get Loxa activated here more so in the second half?
That's on us, but it's also on her. She's got to come with better effort.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
All right, Despina, thanks, and thanks to Coach Osterman there. It's halftime here from Tampa with the Bulls leading the Mustangs by 4. Back with more of the coverage of the American Conference Women's Basketball here on the American Digital Network.
There are other people just like you, driven, determined, those who use passion to spark creation. Others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. Terrific finish. Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
I was the last person anybody's thinking is going to be in college athletics. One thing I really valued about my SMU experience was being in engineering school. I was taught how to think. In 2012, my wife and I decided to start our foundation. Basically, the goal is to let kids be kids while they're in the hospital, but also be able to return to being a kid when they're done. A huge part of my quality of life is the experiences that I've had, and that was all provided by SMU. I'm Thomas Morstead. Game changers are shaped here.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
Happy Monday and welcome into the ADN studio. Hope your week is off to a great start. Thanks for tuning in to an all-new episode of The Rise. I'm Haley Outen. It's time to take a look at who takes home the hardware for their standout performances on the hardwood this past week. On the men's side, Houston guard Armani Brooks posted the first 2 double-doubles of his career in a perfect week for the Cougars. He averaged 17 points and over 10 boards per game. In Houston's win over SMU, Brooks finished with 23 points, knocking down 7 from three-point land. The Cougs currently sit in a tie for second in the conference standings at 9-3. Rookie of the Week honors went out to Temple forward J.P. Mormon II. In Temple's win over ECU, Mormon II posted the first double-double by an Al freshman since Lavoy Allen in the 2008 NCAA tournament, recording 11 points and 12 rebounds. This is the first Rookie of the Week honor for the freshman. A handful of other players had impressive performances as well. Here's a look at this week's American Honor Roll. On the women's side, USF guard Kitty Alaksa stole the headlines this past week. The junior put on a career-best performance in the Bulls' win over number 13 Ohio State. She registered 41 points, which tied the conference single-game record. Sunday's win over the Buckeyes marked the first over a top 15 opponent for the Bulls since 2013. Meanwhile, Freshman of the Week honors went to a familiar face. Cincinnati forward Amari Thomas collected her conference-best 5th Freshman of the Week accolade. In a perfect week for the Bearcats, Thomas averaged 16 points and 6.5 rebounds. She currently leads the American with her 62.6 field goal percentage. And here's a look at the performances that received recognition on this week's Conference Honor Roll. Thanks for joining us today on The Rise. We have a lot on tap for you this week. Mondays with Mike airing later this evening, American Roundball with Monica McNutt on Wednesday, and then on Thursday we're going to be giving away 10 pairs of tickets to this year's men's basketball championship in Orlando. Join us here on Facebook at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central. You are one trivia question away from tickets to all games at the Amway Center. Have a great rest of your day.
There are other people just like you. Driven, determined. Those who use passion to spark creation. Others who are ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
Welcome to college basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it. Terrific finish. Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
I was the last person anybody's thinking is going to be in college athletics. One thing I really valued about my SMU experience was being in engineering school. I was taught how to think. In 2012, my wife and I decided to start our foundation. Basically, the goal is to let kids be kids while they're in the hospital, but also be able to return to being a kid when they're done. A huge part of my quality of life is the experiences that I've had, and that was all provided by SMU. I'm Thomas Morstead. Game changers are shaped here.
Power is excitement, energy, an unrelenting spirit. Its success is realized on the court, and its passion is felt in the hearts of players, coaches, and fans. And it all comes together in a conference known as the American. The American Power for Life.
And welcome back here from Tampa at the Sundome Arena. We're at halftime as USF with a 22-18 lead over SMU. Eric Lopez here with you alongside Despina Barton, and certainly a defensive first half. Both teams shooting 20%, having tough times against the opposing defense. SMU 6 for 29 from the field, USF 7 for 34. It'll be interesting to see how they muster up the offense. Rebounding, these are the top two rebounding teams in the conference, and right now it's 27-24 in favor of USF. Of course, this is a big game in the conference standings. USF coming in at 9-2 in the conference. That's second place. a half a game ahead of UCF, who comes in at 9-3. Of course, those two teams will play on Sunday at high noon in Orlando in a matchup that could be the battle for second place. Of course, Houston at 8-4. They come in at fourth place. And the Bulls certainly, this is a game they can't overlook. You wondered if this would be a trap game for them. And so far, I think they've come out with a strong effort, but not to the level of maybe of a quality shot. And you even heard Coach Osterman right before the halftime to get Loxa to get her up going. As Bulls coming out here, we hope to be joined by the SMU head coach Travis Mays in a moment. But there's the standings. UConn obviously at the top. USF a half game up on UCF. And then Houston's just right there as well, 8-4. Houston actually will play here at USF a week from tonight. And then on February 24th, Houston will host UCF, a game you could watch here on the America Digital Network. So the battle there with 2 through 4, it's going to be really tight. It's going to come down to the wire with these teams playing each other in the next week. And let's go through some of the highlights of this first half. So this is a big game here because both of these teams want to get to that 2 seed and that 3 seed spot if you can. And you look at the Bulls, they get off to that early 9-2 start in the first quarter as Jespersen drilling the 3 from the corner. But certainly the Mustangs kind of hanging in there, making some plays, loose balls, rebounding, a scrappy type of ball game first half. That's kind of what SMU would like. And they keep it close. You see Thomas there with the shot as they made a run and got within 2. And Reese really got him some nice loose balls in that first half and made that jump shot there. They've been hanging around, and I think Coach Mays will be pleased with that. And, of course, USF, they like to go up-tempo. They like to push the ball, but here they go inside, and that sets them up trying to the perimeter game. But good defense you see there by SMU on the ball movement and really making USF work for every possession. And there they got a shot they couldn't hit. And that's really, I think, something that Coach Mays talked about prior to the game. They're really making USF work on both sides of the court and making them earn it. And I think that's been a big storyline here in the first half with SMU and their defense. Again, getting them shots. Adams has been held in check. We have 3 players in the top 8, but one of the things SMU has done is gone inside with success, as they did right there with Bradshaw. They've gone inside with Bradshaw and certainly as well as Collins. And then finally, of course, Loxa has had a slow first half. That was her only field goal of the first half. She's 1 for 10 in that first half. And then again, the Mustangs going inside with Collins, as that's been their bread and butter. And then USF getting that layup right before the half. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out here with a big spurt here in the third quarter as SMU has made their ways to the court. So we hope to be joined by Coach Mays here in about a minute. And got to be pleased overall. This game is on pace to be in the 40s. And I think that's where SMU wants this. They don't want to get this game into the 60s or 70s going up and down the court. I think Coach Mays will be interesting what he has to say if he agrees with that assessment here when he talks to Despina Barton momentarily. And of course for USF, they know you can't look ahead. If you win this game, you're +1. You've got a tough schedule ahead if you're the Bulls. You got to play UCF. You got to play Houston. They still got to play UConn before the regular season. So it's a tougher schedule for the Bulls, and they know that every game matters as they got to try to stay ahead. As Travis Mays making his way, we'll be talking now to Despina Barton here momentarily. And let's toss it now over to Despina Barton with a head coach, Travis Mays.
Game. What did you have to tell your team here at half and the message here for the final 20 minutes?
Well, I told my team we got to do a better job in getting quality possessions. This is going to be a possession game for the last 20 minutes. And on the road against this team, I think they're top 25 in their assist-to-turnover ratio. They get quality possessions. We're going to have to do a better job in order to have a chance to win this in the last 4 minutes.
You got caught to only a few points here in the first half. How do you continue to contain their outside shooters and the rest of the way?
Well, we're going to try to get in her space as much as possible, make it difficult for her to get those catches, and the people who are making the passes to her make that a little bit more difficult to throw her rhythm off.
All right, Coach, good luck to you the rest of the way. 4 points. 4 points is a deficit.
Yeah, 4 points. You're trying to get me further behind, but we're going to stay right there with them.
You know what I mean. Good luck, Coach. Eric?
Thanks to Despina. And Travis Mays, one of the great people in this league in his second season as the head coach, was an associate head coach at Texas in his previous stops, and of course led SMU to a 19-13 record last season, making it a deep run into the women's NIT round of 16. Has had to battle adversity this season, injuries, youth, but he's got his team battling. They've won 3 of the last 4, and they're right in this game against nationally ranked USF as we start here in the third quarter. SMU will get the ball here to start. They'll be going from left to right on your screen. As we start off here with Reese, gets the ball for SMU. Michaela Reese over to Whitfield.
Reese, such a spitfire there in the first half. She came in and instantly made an impact on the defensive end and a presence.
As Janisha Cash misses there in the first shot, and now comes up the Bulls. Both coaches very animated, I think. Coach Mays, I think, feel pretty good where they're at. Battling every possession as Jespersen drives and scores. Maria Jespersen with 13 here to lead the Bulls as USF leads by 6.
Jespersen wanted a foul called as she had a finger to the face, but it almost seemed like it reinvigorated her to get to the lane.
Well, what's been interesting is Jespersen really since the second quarter has been driving a lot tonight to the basket, trying to draw fouls and not just settling for jump shots. Reese for 3 is short, and a loose ball foul, it looks like, over the back on SMU. The ball will go over to the Bulls.
I thought it was very interesting, too. Obviously, the offensive presence here by Jespersen, but also the effect of, Lotska has to get herself going. It's half on her and half on what's happening on the game and what SMU is throwing her way.
That was what Jeff Osterman told you at the half, the associate coach at USF. Three-pointer by Ferreira is good. And just like that, USF increases their lead to 9. 9-point game. Adams, too strong. Rebound to the Bulls. Here they come, looking to break. Flores swings it out. Loxa, 3, got it. Coach Mays will call timeout as USF comes out flying here in the third quarter. An 8-0 run to start the third quarter.
A must timeout opportunity here. He's got to slow this team down. SMU needs to sit down. Whatever they had said there at the half and been happy with their performance, well, that all is erased because it's a new half and USF has come out to play. I think Coach Fernandez raced into that locker room for a reason and to make a point to these young ladies that as quickly as you come off a monster win against a ranked team in Ohio State, that you got to have to compete the next day off.
Here we go, fellas. Let's look at that last three-pointer. Boy, that's the thing about makes USF dangerous here. Shots like this. Nothing but net there, Despina by Flores. And that's the thing, is Ferreira's the one who made the 3 there. They've been struggling all game, but all it takes is a couple of shots and boom, boom, 2 threes. And next thing you know, now they're up 12.
12-point difference. And yeah, USF, they just have so many scoring options that you really can't take a break on the defensive end for SMU. You have to be smart with the ball. Know where everybody is. Stay with your rotations. Call the switches out. This is not a time to let up on your defense.
So now what do you think Coach Mays will tell his group? They got hit here with an early 8-0 run. Got to find some offense.
Yeah, I think the shot selection has been pretty poor here in these first couple of minutes. He's going to ask them to, listen, pull this back out. Our game plan is to take our time on the offensive end. You want USF to play you on D. You want them to get tired. You want them to work hard for every possession. And that comes with you making smart decisions with the ball.
An 8-0 run by the Bulls to start this third quarter. They lead 30-18. SMU just shooting 19% from the field. USF now up to 27%, but 4 for 16 from the three-point line, Despina. That's the 3 ball. SMU only 1 for 5, so if you do the math, that's 12-3 margin for USF, and that's the thing about that three-point weapon. Even if you're not shooting well, if you hit enough of them, that's a tough margin for SMU. They can't keep up with USF in the perimeter shooting department.
Yeah, this was a must-take timeout period. You need to cool off their shooters and lots of, and just kind of pick your battles here. You know, it's one by each possession, each play at a time. And keeping this simple with SMU. You had a lot to build off there in the first half. You kept this within 2 possession game. This is a battle to the end. We've seen it the past 2 outings against SMU. 6-point game, 1-point game. These teams want to go at it, and they match up so well. And I know we talked about rebounding being a factor. That is going to be a factor right now, especially while USF is hot. You can't give them the second chance opportunities.
Well, you mentioned the rebounding. USF now +6 in the boards, 30-24. Offensive rebounds, 11-8 in favor of USF. So they're winning the battle of the boards. Again, these are the top 2 rebounding teams in the conference. 1-2. So Bulls winning that battle. Now as we return to action, the Mustangs looking to find some offense. Adams. They go feed inside, and a foul as they go inside there. And that's been the story. I think they want to go back inside, slow the tempo down. As you mentioned, Despina, go inside, pound USF inside. I think that's what Coach Mays called for there.
And I know we featured Adams here in the open, averaging 17.2 points a game, but she's only got 2 points. She's also got to find a way to be active and be a threat for SMU. You got to draw them out to the wing and threaten with that shot to open up on the banks.
Adams drives and lost the ball. And I think Adams there, one of the problems is the length of USF. It really gets underrated. They're very tall and lengthy, and I think that's given Adams some problems here tonight in getting her shot off like we just saw there in that last possession.
The Bulls are doing their part to shut her down.
So now the Bulls with the ball with a 12-point lead. SMU trying to get some defensive stops here. 15 on the shot clock. The drive, Jespersen, 3, corner, got it. The Bulls have found the range here in the third quarter.
What a beautiful shot. The spiral, the spin. I mean, this is textbook. Take notes, guys, because if you can shoot the way they're shooting here in the third quarter, this is going to quickly get out of reach for SMU.
It's now up to 15, the largest lead of the night for the Bulls. And that's how explosive they can be. They've struggled all night, but they found the range here early. Whitfield looking to find the range, cannot. With a loose ball, and again, the Mustangs trying to fight for it, and they do in a whistle. And the call on Loxa there on the bump on Whitfield. But a 11-0 run here in the third quarter. 3 3-pointers by the Bulls. And that's the thing. You got to play 40 minutes against them. And Coach Mays mentioned that to you coming out. You got to play 40 minutes every possession because USF can hit you on these runs, and you kind of have to have a response to that. You know it's coming. Now you got to respond if you're SMU.
And it can turn into a blur real quickly, and you just lose your spot. Yeah. You got to refocus in, and this is what the challenge is. When a team gets hot, how do you respond? What do you do to find a way to end it for them?
Perry for 3. No good. And the ball goes out of bounds to the Bulls. So the Mustangs still without a score here in the third quarter. Not a good time to have a drought. They had an early drought in the second quarter, about 4 minutes, but their defense kept them in it within striking distance. Right now, though, they're trailing by 15.
And USF has already drained 3 threes, so quickly the tables turned.
Ferreira drives, tries to kick it out, but the ball was deflected and turnover. Now SMU. Reese looking to push it up as Jespersen knocks it out away.
And Jespersen's court awareness is just so surreal. She has her hands in everything. You don't think she's there, then she reaches and she gets her hand on just about everything. This is how she's able to sneak past and grab those balls in the lane. Not only that, but out rebound, folks. She's so active.
She's second in the American in rebounding. 7th in scoring is Jespersen. As the Mustangs with the ball here with 12 on the shot clock. 6:14 to go in the third. Perry can't get the shot off, decides to go to Reese. Reese for 3, rimmed out. Rebound Bulls. Flores looking to push it. Flores, of course, the senior out of Spain. Jespersen with the toss to Ferreira. They swing it around, ball movement. Jespersen drives, goes all the way and draws contact. As Jespersen, once again, Despina, that's been her game plan tonight, attacking SMU defensively by attacking the rim.
And you have to, because you know when you have the star power on the outside, you got to give them a shot to get that shot up too, because she causes a ruckus down the lane. She's going to go for it and put the ball down, and if she doesn't see what she likes, guess what? Lots of shooters on the outside, open and waiting.
Jespersen misses the first. She's now 4 for 7 at the line. As SMU goes to the bench, Thomas comes out. Bradshaw in for the Mustangs, along with Collins.
Eric, you talked about this group, potentially the seniors having an opportunity to make it to 4 straight NCAA tournaments. That's on the line for this group. But one thing that Coach Fernando said they figured out early on against Wichita State just a few games ago is that they need some good seeding on their side, and that these games, every single one of them matter to the committee. And they don't like it when you lose to a team that is outside that top 100. So USF playing for a lot more than just a conference game here today.
There's a 3 by Whitfield as gets the Mustangs on the board here in the third quarter. And it's a 12-point lead for USF. Jesperson trying to respond, but is short on the 3. Gets her own rebound, drives to the basket, and draws another foul as this one will go against Collins. Maria Jesperson continuing to attack the rim and will be rewarded with 2 more free throws.
16 points for Jesperson, 8 rebounds. She's missed do-it-all here today while her teammate Lotska is still trying to find her true rhythm.
So now Jesperson to the line and makes the first. You mentioned the Wichita State loss. Certainly that was the last loss for USF, a Shockers team that was certainly playing very well at the time. That was on January 21st up at Wichita. Bulls struggled offensively in that fourth quarter. And that was kind of a moment there, as Jesperson makes it, as Coach Fernandez talked about, that it was kind of a gut check time for that team. And since then, they've run off 5 wins in a row. They beat Temple on the road, beat UCF they beat, since then, Temple, Tulsa, Tulane, and East Carolina. Of course, the big one against Ohio State. So that was kind of a gut check moment there. They've won 5 in a row since then. That shot is good. But, you know, it's going to be interesting because he talked about that. You know, everybody's coming out for their best punch. He felt that if they win that Wichita State game, they might be in a better position to maybe possibly host in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm.
But as it is, sometimes you need a loss like that to kind of get the wake-up call as Raiders scores and extends the Bulls' lead here to 14 with 4:28 to go in the third quarter.
SMU able to put up points the last 2 trips down the court. Perry takes another shot. 2 for 2 for Perry in these possessions.
Really keeping a minute here with a couple of baskets in this third quarter. And, of course, the Mustangs are coming off winning 3 of the last 4. They won at Memphis. A loose ball there. As Ferreira kicks it out. Loxa for 3. Just not has been her night tonight. But guess who? Jesperson is there with the rebound and draws a foul. So Maria Jesperson dominating the boards. And that'll take us to the media timeout with 4:03 to go here in the third quarter. A quarter that's seen the Bulls extend their lead from 4 to 12 thanks to Maria Jesperson and her passing skills, her rebounding skills. You have a nice dish there. It's the Bulls leading the Mustangs here on the American Digital Network. Coverage of American Conference women's basketball.
Student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket from Obi and Echionia. He got it to go. 2-point terrific finish.
Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
I was the last person anybody's thinking is going to be in college athletics. One thing I really valued about my SMU experience was being in engineering school. I was taught how to think. In 2012, my wife and I decided to start our foundation. Basically, the goal is to let kids be kids while they're in the hospital, but also be able to return to being a kid when they're done. A huge part of my quality of life is the experiences that I've had. And
welcome back here to the American Digital Network's coverage of American Conference women's basketball. It's USF with a 37-25 lead over the Mustangs. The Bulls with a 12-point lead, as you see on this Valentine's night here in Tampa. Eric Lopez alongside Despina Barton, and the Bulls coming out with the 3-ball here in this third quarter to stretch out this lead that was at 4 at the half to now 12.
Yeah, a lot of love here they found in the third quarter. Cupid has certainly stroke them with the arrow from the three-point line. USF red hot right now. Or should I say pink hot with their uniforms that came out for the Play for K Day today here on this Valentine's Day evening.
It's a big 403 here if you're SMU. You've taken a punch from USF, and I think if you're Coach Mays here, if you could cut this down to single digits right going into the fourth quarter, I think you take it. I think this is a big 4 minutes here for both sides here.
And this was very similar to that first quarter where they kind of were just getting their bearings down. Fell behind by 7, but they definitely, have their hands in the passing lane. They're grabbing up those loose balls. They're trying to cut this one down.
Whitfield now with the possession for the Mustangs. Going over to Perry. Perry drives. Too strong, but Cash is there with the rebound. Gets it back again and will draw the foul. So a second chance there for Cash. As Jonasia Cash, of course, the freshman, 18th in the American Conference in rebounding, averaging 6 boards a game. Had 13 in a career high in a victory over Tulsa a couple games ago.
With losing Frawling for SMU, they've had to rotate in a pair of freshmen to get out there and get some playing time. And certainly for Cash, she's been one of those that have been able to grow and develop so much here in her true freshman year, just purely off that opportunity. When Frawling comes back, this SMU team is going to be ready to rock and roll and have so much experience behind them.
Jesperson with a floater in the rim, in the paint there, no good in the rebound SMU. You mentioned it. A lot of experience will be coming back next season with Froling. Of course, they're thinking about this year. They're playing their best basketball right now. They're getting confidence and trying to finish strong before the conference championship tournament. It will be held, of course, at Connecticut at the Mohican Arena. Only a couple of weeks away. Hard to believe that we're near March Madness time of the season. There's a shot and it's good by Perry. Kiara Perry, the senior out of Texas. And the Mustangs cutting back to 10 now, the deficit.
And this is the opportunity to strike. Hold on to your defense. Stay strong. Play smart. You couldn't stop that one, though. Beautiful lay-in by Flores.
Lila Flores with a nice play there. The three-pointer is stuck on the rim. That'll be a jump ball, and the possession arrow will go over to USF.
Listen, that ball dropped. I counted for SMU.
Well, not exactly how that works there, but
Perry frustrated a little bit.
Yeah, that's always a frustrating one when that ball hits the rim. And because, of course, it goes to jump ball, the arrow possession goes over to USF.
Back to SMU.
Next time around.
Yes.
Yeah, the next time around now they will. But on that last possession, it went over to USF because they had the possession arrow. So just kind of the breaks.
Which may pay off in just
down
a few
the stretch,
minutes.
You never know. As Prieto loses the ball, and that's a steal. Adams. It's been quiet tonight. Drives all the way to the basket and draws. No, it's offensive foul. Offensive foul on Adams, who's had a tough night. Coming into this game, she was averaging 17 points a game, which is 8th in the conference. So far, she has 2 tonight.
Adams nearly bumped out of bounds before this play even started, coming right across our sideline, then just taking it down, threw down her shoulder just a tad, and the positioning there by USF just paid out in their favor.
So Bulls possession here. As they move the ball around, Flores.
You can see USF now clearing the left side.
Ferreira drives, dish. Jesperson, three-corner, in and out. And the rebound to Perry for the Mustangs. Now Perry to Reese. Perry, they go inside. Collins, they kick it out. Three-pointer is good. Finally there, Mackenzie Adams. We'll see if that can get her going and get her warmed up. As the lead is down to 10 now for USF.
And that was a perfect play for SMU. They throw it down, they take a look, didn't like what they see, then out to Mackenzie Adams. Shot is drained. Now they're back on defense.
And the shot is good. A response 3 by the Bulls. They push the lead back up to 13. On three-pointer, it comes from everywhere. That time it was Ferreira, the senior from Portugal.
USF with an answer every time. And nice play down low here by Tamara Henshaw.
And they're looking to push. Ferreira swings it out. Jesperson, corner three, left, bang. Bang, bang. Jesperson with the three, and just like that, the lead has grown to 16.
Had so much time to think about how she wanted to drain that shot, then gave the I love you point to the stands here. The fans loved it.
A game high 21 for Jesperson. And now the Mustangs go inside to Collins and scores. Nice play there by Collins. They're going to need a few more of those in the fourth quarter. The lead's down to 14. They swing it out. Three is too strong, and that'll do it for the end of the third quarter, but not before you saw the Bulls get hot from the three-point line, and they lead 45-31 after three here from Tampa on the American Digital Network.
$7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
There are other people just like you, driven, determined, those who use passion to spark creation. Others ready to unite and discover together. It all starts with you and continues with us, the University of South Florida.
From the American. Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets March 3rd to the 6th. Call the Mohegan Sun Arena or visit us online to purchase tickets today.
Welcome back here. The American Digital Network's coverage of American Conference Women's Basketball set for the start of the fourth quarter. Eric Lopez alongside Despina Barton, and the story of the game is Maria Jesperson. 21 points, 10 of those coming in that third quarter.
Yes, the senior has been red hot and just attacking everywhere she is on the court. Get this though, Eric, when she came in, when she was recruited, Coach Fernandez knew that she still had her best basketball in front of her, knew that she could play multiple positions, but get this, she sat and was the sixth man off the bench the last 2 years, but she trusted the process. She didn't start until last season, and this year just putting it all together into a spectacular arsenal of attributes that she's able to just put on a show for us out there on the court, especially today when her right-hand lady, Loxa, isn't performing up to par.
21 points, 9 rebounds for Jesperson. Of course, right at her average rebounding already. She averages 9.5, which is second in the American Conference, 7th in scoring at 17, and she's right there at 21-9, a board away from another double-double for Jesperson, who has picked up the slack for Loxa, but that's that great dynamic duel, you know, the 1-2 punch. They could feed off each other, and they could also have the other one's back if the other one is struggling on that particular night, as SMU with the possession here.
And it levels out the pressure. Every time you step on the court, you feel like you have this pressure to put up these amount of numbers. Well, right now, Loxa's on the bench, and you just see Jesperson just kind of take over with ease. There's no pressure, really. They're in a good position, but it allows for everybody else to play a little bit more freely as well.
Now Perry with the ball with the Mustangs. To Adams. They go inside to Collins. Tries to kick it out to Reese. Reese swings it out to Perry. Perry will drive to the basket. And too short on that, but gets her own rebound. Put back no good. Ball again, another rebound for SMU, and they'll just kick it out here to reset. Good hustle there with Cash with the ball, and now Adams to Reese. Swinging around, a drive. Unable to finish there in the rebound to USF. That's a frustrating possession if you're Coach Mays and SMU. Got some good looks there, just unable to finish.
Yeah, there's definitely a cap on that rim on this end of the court, but SMU's doing everything right.
Collins there on the rebound on the missed shot by USF. Now the Mustangs looking to push. Adams draws the whistle and will go to the line.
And that's what she's been seeing all night long. It's 2-on-1. There's two pink jerseys, making sure that she does not get going tonight. She's having to battle some emotions and finding other avenues to score.
So Mackenzie Adams, the senior out of Frisco, Texas, will go to the line. An 80% shooter from the line. Is 2 for 2 tonight. Make it 3 for 3. And that's her 5th point of the game, averaging 17 a game. We mentioned 3 of the top 8 scorers in the American Conference are in this game, with Adams, Jespersen, and Laxa. As Adams makes both, Laxa is ranked 3rd, averaging 20 a game. Jespersen 7th, and Adams 8th.
You see the trap come out here, the full court pressure. SMU trying to turn on some easy buckets here, get some steals. That one works. Reese on in her hands about everything.
And now Reese bringing the ball up. Perry, they swing inside to Collins. Good ball movement here as Perry drills it from the corner there, and just like that, it's a 10-point game, 45-35 in favor of USF here in the 4th quarter.
Interesting, SMU drops back in the half-court set on the made bucket.
And a reach-in foul on Adams is the call. And part of it is to mix up the defense, kind of try to get USF off their heels a little bit offensively. One thing we know is this Mustangs team will not quit. They are a scrappy team. They're going to battle through the final whistle. They've dealt with injuries throughout the season. Winning 3 of their last 4 games, including coming back from a 15-point deficit on February 7th against Tulsa. That's the largest comeback for SMU in the 2 years under Travis Mays. As Laxa drills a 3. Kadia Laxa from Latvia with the 3. Extends the lead to 13.
She didn't even need a warm-up period. I think she got hot sitting there right next to Coach Fernandez.
It's got tremendous range. I mean, she's got lengthy range. I mean, that was from deep. That was from Ybor City, where she could shoot it from when she's on her game. This shot, here come the Bulls. And Jespersen's turn, too strong. Laxa tried to keep it alive, but it goes over to SMU. Now Reese looking to push it up. Pulls up. Off the glass is good. Nice job there by Reese using the backboard as a friend.
Perfect execution. She read who was in front of her. It was Laxa and Jespersen. She had not a good shot at driving the lane. Stop, drop, and pull it out, and it went through for Reese.
Good fundamentals, too, using the backboard. A lot of times players don't use the backboard to their advantage. You saw it like that in that situation.
She certainly didn't call it loud enough where we could hear it, though.
A loose ball, and here come the Mustangs, down 11 here, making a run here in the 4th quarter with 7 to go. Now they reset. Reese looks for Perry inside, but she's covered, so they go to Adams off a pick. Now Adams being covered, swings it to Thomas. Now they go inside to Collins, and a whistle. And it looks like an offensive foul called on SMU, and the ball will go over to USF. Look at the last sequence there.
Yeah. The 3 from Laxa right after stepping on the court as you're checking in.
We watched her at practice here right before the game pregame. She'll shoot from anywhere on the court, like deep. She practices, and you caught that they don't end practice until she hits a 3.
And it did take 4 shots this time, and that's maybe why we saw a cold start in the front half of this game. But a lot like Steph Curry, she's fearless out there.
Misses that shot. And the Mustangs with a rebound, down 11 here, trying to get it under 10 here after taking a hit in the 3rd quarter. Adams trying to drive, uses glass, and it's good. Nice play there by Mackenzie Adams.
Adams, the senior, the guard, the leader of this team, bringing this game down to single digits.
Jump ball, and the arrow will stay with USF here in the 4th quarter. And so Jespersen will inbound, but the Mustangs hanging in there. They know they're still in this game, getting some deflections with their defense. They're 3rd in the American Conference in scoring defense, only giving up 60 a game. They're 19th in the NCAA in field goal percentage defense, 36%.
And what's really changed, this team has grown and developed. They've really created a sense of confidence. These shots are hard to swallow, but you know what? SMU is battling back and finding their own shot and a way to silence those.
Loxa with her third 3 of the game. She averages 3.6 threes a game. That's 10th in the NCAA in 3-pointers per game. They go inside the Mustangs and they get the basket. But that's the frightening thing about Loxa is even on an off night, she's hitting her normal threes average.
And something we haven't seen all game here, SMU not getting back on defense. USF able to catch one on them sleeping here in transition. Another easy 2, and we're back out to a 12-point game. They've been doing so good about shutting that down, by the way, Eric.
Right, that was one of the rare times they didn't get back. As the Bulls caught them there. And now the Mustangs with Adams at the top. Trying to swing it. Whitfield, 3-pointer. No good. Rebound Bradshaw. Kicks it out to Adams. And out to Whitfield, who will reset this offense. Adams. Drive to the basket. Blocked by Ferreira. What a play defensively. Ferreira bringing it up. Flores swings it to Jesperson. To Flores. Now the Bulls will reset their offense with 4:33 to go.
The Bulls so disciplined. If they don't see something they don't like, they pull this out, reset.
And Jesperson with a spin move, and it's met by Bradshaw on the block. Ball goes out of bounds to SMU. Bradshaw tied for first in the American Conference. 1.9 blocks per game, showed there why. A tremendous block, and the ball will go over to SMU when we come back as we take the media timeout. 4:19 to go. It's USF 53 and SMU 41 here on the American Digital Network.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time blocking from Obi and Echionia. He got it to go. Terrific finish. Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
I was the last person anybody's thinking is going to be in college athletics. One thing I really valued about my SMU experience was being in engineering school. I was taught how to think. In 2012, my wife and I decided to start our foundation. Basically, the goal is to let kids be kids while they're in the hospital, but also be able to return to being a kid when they're done. A huge part of my quality of life is the experiences that I've had.
Welcome back here to the Sundome Arena in Tampa, Florida, on the campus of the University of South Florida. As we've got 4 minutes and change to go here in the game. USF with a 53-41 lead over the SMU Mustangs. Eric Lopez alongside his peanut bar. And you look at the awards, weekly awards, of course. Imari Thomas, the freshman of the week from Cincinnati, having a tremendous week. 16 points, 6.5 boards, and 1.5 assists. And the Bearcats team that's coming on strong, as they're looking to make a run at second and third place, and led by Thomas. She was tremendous, of course, in earning that freshman of the week in the America this week. And tremendous talent in this league, Despina, consistently. Of course, we've talked so much about Loxa winning the National Player of the Week, winning the American Conference of the Week, but there's a lot of talent in this league.
Oh, yeah, and you just see, like, Thomas here, the freshman, she's just building that case for herself in her resume. The player of the week. We've been talking about her all game, well, specifically here in the last 15 minutes, but Loxa here just doing her part to show the world what we have going here in the American Conference.
A lot of talent, young talent, too. A lot will be coming back, including Loxa. As we hit the 4-minute mark here. The Bulls trying to maintain second place in the conference, but Mackenzie Adams may have something to say about that as she drills a 3. And just like that, we got an 8-point ball game. Big 3:48 to go here as the Mustangs have cut it to 8. Jesperson drives, comes up short, and the rebound of the Mustangs. They look to push. Perry.
Great blocking out there by SMU, setting them up for Perry's drive and the play with the whistle.
And SMU has fought themselves back into this game, Despina, and they've done it with defense and getting rebounds and driving to the basket.
And this is the first time these two teams have met. Yes, they met last year twice in the conference tournament. That was a 7-point game that USF won. Earlier the year was a 1-point victory for USF. So every time these two teams get together, it's nitty-gritty. It's going to be a fight to the end, and there's so much on the line for SMU as they want to keep their playoff hopes alive and just set the pace for the tournament coming up in a couple weeks.
Postseason aspirations still there. Make a deep run, finish strong, build her next year as well as Perry hits both free throws, and just like that, got a 6-point game here. And now the Bulls offensively, we'll see if they go to Jesperson. She's been the hot hand tonight. Loxa has had an off night by her standards. Or will it be someone else for USF here as the Mustangs trying to make another stop? Jesperson gets the feed, goes off glass, too strong. Loose ball, rebound to the Bulls. As off glass again, too strong by Loxa. And a rebound by SMU and a whistle and a foul. And you sense a little frustration on the Bulls here, not getting shots to fall. And that's what this SMU defense, we've talked about it. They're 19th in the country in field goal percentage defense, 2nd in the conference, 3rd in the conference in scoring defense. And we're seeing it why. It's not an accident.
No, they're going to make USF work for every shot. Not only that, they're going to battle with you and bang with you down on the boards. They don't want you to get that second shot opportunity. Here it was the 3rd shot opportunity they just weren't happy with. Went after the ball, did what they had to do to protect it, drew the foul, and here we go, another opportunity to cut the lead.
Adams too strong on that miss, and the rebound to Flores. Lila Flores, a senior from Spain. Been to 3 NCAA tournaments, looking to make it 4 for 4 for the Bulls. No seniors have ever done that. But she's hoping to be a part of that, of the senior class. 2.5 to go. Jesperson right now, who's been the star of the game, to Loxa. Flores drives, kicks it out. Jesperson for 3. Got it!
And could that be the nail, Eric?
Could be the backbreaker as Maria Jesperson with another 3 extends the Bulls' lead to 9. She's had an answer. She's made the plays tonight for USF when they've needed it. 2 minutes left. Can the Mustangs respond? Perry's trying and does!
An eye for an eye. You see the level of competitiveness out here on the floor. We're going to match you until the very end.
6-point game. Now the Mustangs look for a defensive stop. The Bulls looking for another basket. Jesperson off a pick. Flores. 1.5 minutes to go. 10 on the shot clock. It's Jesperson driving all the way, he scores.
Strange possession there for SMU. They stepped out of the way and let Jesperson just have the entire lane.
Looked like a miscommunication there, and it extends the Bulls' lead to 8. 26 for Jesperson. Adams looking to respond with traffic. They kick it out. Thomas hits. Deja Thomas. And again, the Mustangs not going away. Cut it to 6. And Coach Mays, this team just battling and battling, not going away. And they're going to make USF earn this. And they're still right in this, down only 6.
Certainly, Coach May is calling a timeout here to kind of set things up. Almost over, a minute 7 to play within reach. This is almost exactly where they were at half. He was happy and content. They built themselves up to come back from moments like this. This group has been through thick and thin all year long. They want to prove to everybody that they can compete with the best in the league.
So they're going to have to make some defensive stops to pull this out, and that's not been easy tonight against this Bulls offense.
And you see it right here, an outside kick. And good there for Jesperson. She's been solid all night long. Your ace in your back pocket that you've been able to call upon.
The drive and kick by the Bulls offense. Jesperson, 26 points on 8 of 19 from the field, 4 for 8 on a 3-point line. We thought they would put it away, but SMU, to their credit, hanging in there with big baskets to keep them in it.
It's incredible the fight you see out here. they're matching everything that USF is doing. The only thing they need to do right now is block out. Do not let a shot go up for USF, and you got to get it coming the other way.
Mackenzie Adams, you saw in that replay with the 3. She's got 11 in this game, 9 in the second half. So she's come to life for the Mustangs. Down 6, but they need a couple of defensive stops here.
A lot of eyes watching this game right now, especially in the conference.
Standings, certainly ramifications. USF with a win would maintain, of course, still be in second place over UCF in that showdown in Orlando on Sunday. The drive by Jespersen, and she draws the foul. And we'll go back to the line, and that's been one of the weapons tonight for Maria Jespersen. She just hasn't settled for jump shots. She's been attacking the basket a lot all night.
And that's been critical in a night like this where you're not getting the shots going down by Locks on the outside. She never hesitated. Once she realized what was happening, she knew what her route was to be effective in this game, and that was going through the paint. And then settled back here in the third and fourth quarter, put up a couple of threes to just show them, you need to come out and defend me too.
Jespersen tonight, 6 of 10 at the line. And she makes the first to give the Bulls a 3-possession lead. I mentioned the standings. USF's 9-2, UCF's 9-3. USF beat UCF earlier this season on this court. They will meet on Sunday in Orlando. Both free throws up and good by Jespersen. So it's a huge swing game on Sunday, and certainly the Bulls have to finish off 50 seconds against this Mustangs team, Despina. But as we look quickly ahead to that matchup in the standings, and certainly Houston's also in the mix at 8-4. They play USF on this court a week from tonight. They will host UCF on February 24th, a game that'll be watched on the American Digital Network right here. But it starts off, this might be a good test for Coach Fernandez and USF against this defense from SMU, because you talk about defense, that's what Coach Henderson and UCF bring to the table every night.
Yeah, they certainly have a size disadvantage for UCF, so coming up against USF, they're so scrappy. They move so quickly. They are in your face. They are not letting anything go by you. And oh yeah, they're going to trail you and stay as tight as they can on defense and make you work with that ball. That's something that UCF's done very well, and I can tell you this, they're very hungry after that loss here to USF just a few weeks ago after their game against UConn. It's a tight run in the conference, and right now we're seeing some of the best basketball across the board.
USF beat UCF on January 14th, 62-45. You mentioned that UCF defense. A week ago at home, they held UConn to a season-low 55 points. That's how good a defense they played. As Reese there misses, and a foul as Flores gets fouled, and that might be it for the Mustangs, who have given it all here tonight. They've hung in there. We've documented, obviously, the injury before even the season to their star player, Alicia Froling. But they haven't, they've been really peaking at the right time. They've been playing some good basketball here. More than likely, they're going to come up short tonight, but still a positive result against a top 25 team like USF as Loxa gets fouled. And I think for Coach Mays, he'll certainly be frustrated with maybe some of the execution and some plays here and there, but he will not question the effort.
No, and I think for about 70% of this game, SMU was on point. They were doing everything he was asking them to do. A couple scoring lulls, and maybe this game would have been a little bit closer. But those are things you have to mentally battle through. It's the same thing USF. They didn't score for about 5 minutes. So they also had to come through on the other end, and goodness, Loxa got hot in the third quarter, fourth quarter, and then you had the consistency from Jespersen all game long. So you're going to have to deal with all these different factors. It's just how you come out on the other side. And for Coach Mays, he's using this as motivation. This is a confidence builder. This is, if anything, you're hanging with the number 21, number 22 team ranked in the nation right now that, oh, by the way, knocked off Ohio State on Sunday.
And certainly for SMU, following this game, as they really battled here tonight against USF. They will host Wichita State this weekend, and then, of course, they will host UConn a week from tonight, and they will finish the regular season at Tulane for SMU. So they're going to try and finish on a strong note, and also a teaching moment, and also build experience and try to build momentum try to make a deep run at the conference tournament, which will be, of course, March 3rd to the 6th at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Connecticut. And even if they don't make postseason, build with a lot of people coming back next season and get back into postseason next year. So certainly I think the future is bright for SMU as they try to lob inside, and that's turned over, and that should do it. The Bulls will improve to 10-2 in the conference and 21-5. And they're about 30 seconds away from turning their attentions to the war on I-4, as they call it, the rivalry UCF and USF in a battle for second place in the conference on Sunday, high noon. Very fitting. It'll be high noon for that matchup. Lots of ramifications. I mentioned it. USF really, they know that they control their destiny as far as at least second place and really strengthen their NCAA resume. As a foul there is called. They should be in the NCAA, but, Coach Fernandez, he's always thinking about certain things, maybe hosting if you finish hot and just try to get yourself in the tournament. And what a job Jose Fernandez has done in his 18th season. Has led him to postseason 13 times, 5 NCAA tournament appearances, including the last 3 years in a row. It's just incredible success.
And I think what he wants to do is build on that success. Yes, we've made it to the first weekend of the NCAA tournament, but guys, seeding is everything. We want to host. We want to make it to the second round. We have all the pieces. There are no excuses.
Loxa makes the first. It's that Sweet 16 that's eluded them. They've been to the second round, first round. They've been close to that Sweet 16 in that second weekend. They haven't been there yet, but they've certainly got the talent to get there this year. As both free throws are up and good, as Loxa, by the way, is now up to 16 points on an quote-unquote off night by her standards.
And it was only 2 points that separated them from that first round to the Sweet 16, losing to number 6 Missouri, 66-64.
Yep.
So these are close, in reach losses that probably sting more than anything else.
Foul on the court with 13.7 to go. USF with a 12-point lead. And let's give a quick thought now. USF will play UCF on Sunday. It'll be a nationally televised game. UCF a top-notch defense, and I think USF, and I'm sure Coach Fernandez, is the first free throw is missed. He knows they're going to have to play at a higher level on Sunday against UCF, and it should be a remarkable game for this league and a showcase with high intensity, as it always is with those two programs and those two schools, and they play in any sport.
Well, there's a funny thing when you throw a rivalry game in there, added emotions and angst, and just a few weeks ago it was UCF that fell to USF here. Those girls remember that. I mean, that game is made for TV on Sunday. I hope they'll be serving brunch and and really get to bring that one in.
The three was made there. Now they're looking at the clock, trying to put some clock back in. 7.4 to go. And now the Bulls will run out the clock and win their 6th in a row to improve to 10-2 in the conference and 21-5 on the season as the USF Bulls knock off SMU 64-54 is the final score from Tampa. We'll take a quick break and we'll have some post-game coverage of the Bulls beating the Mustangs 64-54. You're watching American Conference Women's Basketball here on the American Digital Network.
7,000 student athletes rising to become champions in 21 different sports at 13 esteemed institutions across 11 states. 360,000 students and 2.6 million alumni rise up in celebration of a Power 6 conference known as the American.
Basketball in the American Athletic Conference.
Big time bucket for Obi and Echionia. He got it to go. Terrific finish. Don't miss the chance to see your team cut down the nets in Orlando March 8th to the 11th. Call the Amway Center box office or visit theamerican.org today.
Welcome back here to the Sundome Arena in Tampa, Florida, as the USF Bulls once again victorious, their 6th in a row as they defeat the SMU Mustangs 64-54. Eric Lopez alongside Despina Barton and a winning coach, Jose Fernandez, once again on the victory stand. Coach, congratulations on the win. It's never easy when you play SMU. They give it all they can. They're very good defensively, but you found a way in the second half and get a win.
Yeah, Travis does a great job with her. They've had some real adversity with losing their best player before the season even started. But we knew we were going to get their best punch coming in here after winning 2 in a row. And, you know, that third quarter was big for us. I didn't think we were really sharp today in those first 20 minutes.
Talk about Maria Jespersen. When your offense was friendly, she made plays. She got rebounds. She made big shots. She got to the free throw line and attacked the rim all night. Talk about Maria stepping in there, a big game for her.
I thought she was really active. She was assertive. She got to the rim, and then she was able to shoot the ball from three and make some shots. But, you know, SMU kept chipping away, and they wouldn't go away. But, you know, we need a day off, and we're looking forward to tomorrow, that's for sure.
Go ahead,
For you, Coach, obviously not a game that Locks has kind of given you here in the past. How did you make adjustments in the half, and what was that message moving forward?
You know, we had them at 19 points at halftime. Our defense was fine. It was just when you're shooting so poorly from the offensive end, you're putting so much pressure on your defense and rebounding. And I was happy those first 4 minutes of that third quarter. We came out, made extra passes, and we knocked some shots down to get us going.
Now you can think ahead to Sunday, the big game against your rivals in UCF. I know you told us you would find out a lot about your team after that big win against Ohio State. Look, you got the big game on Sunday, how they would respond tonight. How do you feel about your team now moving forward going to that Sunday showdown?
We're going to have to play a lot better than we played today, that's for sure.
That's true, Coach, but when you got players like Maria, it makes it a lot easier. So congratulations on the win. Enjoy this one, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Head coach Jose Fernandez joining us here as the Bulls Victoria will be joined by Maria Jespersen here in a moment. The Bulls 21-5 on the season, 10-2 on conference play. In second place in the American Conference, and will be joined by Maria Jespersen. 28 points, 10 rebounds for our player of the game, Maria Jespersen. Maria, congratulations on the win. I know offensively things didn't go as smooth, but you picked up your team and you picked up your teammates. You attacked the basket. Talk about your game plan going into this game.
It was just like taking the momentum from the Ohio State game and carry it over here. Unfortunately, our shots were not falling the same way they did in that game. We talked about in the locker room that we've been in this situation before when our shot is not falling. We have to do other things. We have to get to the free throw line. We have to get more things off the glass, so that's what we adjusted.
Was there ever like a moment where you guys thought this was getting out of reach, where you guys thought you guys weren't playing your type of ball, and how did you reel that back in?
I think we had some problems with them because they were so long. It was hard for us to we got blocked a lot, especially in the beginning. I think we adjusted. Yeah, I mean, you just have basketball. There's a lot of different things you can do, and if they take one thing away, you just have to do the other thing.
Well, now you can focus on Sunday, the big game, rivalry game, UCF, USF. You got them earlier in the year. Just talk about that rivalry and the big game on Sunday, what you're going to have to do between now and then.
I mean, UCF is a really, really good team, and we respect them a lot. But we'll be ready for it, that's for sure.
I know you will. Congratulations on this win. Great job, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Maria Jespersen joining us here on the postgame show as the Bulls knock off SMU 64-54 and improve to 10-2 in the American Conference, 21-5 overall, second place in the American Conference as they now set their attentions to the showdown on Sunday when they take on UCF in Orlando. So that will do it from here in Tampa, Florida. And what a job here tonight by the Bulls. It wasn't easy. SMU, their defense, very intense, held the Bulls' offense in check, but the players like Maria Jespersen and their offense, tremendous, Bispina. It's going to be a fun one on Sunday. It was fun to work with you.
Yeah, Eric, this was a great contest. On paper, maybe some would have thought USF would have ran away. No, this was almost a nail-biter. USF pulling away from 10 for this final. But yes, two great programs that are playing their best basketball.
That was Bispina Bart. Thanks to Drew Vincent and the crew in the truck there for the American Digital Network. Final score, Bulls 64, Mustangs 54. Tonight from Tampa here on the American Digital Network.